Alrighty, we're live from my dorm room. Starting in a few moments, just setting everything up. Twitter. Gonna start very soon. Okay. Almost ready. This is going to be a long episode today. Got a big script for this week. Starting like probably 2 minutes. I'm going to start in a few seconds. Alrighty. Okay, that's good. Let's start. Hello, everybody, and welcome back for this week's episode of Benny and Booth Podcast. On this week's episode, baseball is finally back in with banger news. NFL's had a huge week since we last talked. March Madness brackets out, and I've got first four and round one predictions and how predictions are going to go with the podcast from now on, and NBA weekly review. Let's get into it. What's up, everybody? How you doing? Welcome back for episode 24 of the Benny in the Booth podcast. Thank you for the support to this point. I really do appreciate it. Since the last time I did an episode, we have officially reached 80 plus subscribers, which is a huge which is a pretty nice milestone. On our way now to 100 subscribers. Thank you for all the support. If you are new and you haven't subscribed, hit that subscribe button down below and turn on the notification bell so you know when I go live or post a video. A few things I do want to note before I start talking. With baseball being back, I am working on trying to get a guest to help preview the Cubs opening weekend series against the Brewers. I don't know who. I don't know if it's for sure going to happen, but I am trying to work on that. That would be the Tuesday of opening week, which would probably, I think it's like the 5th or something. But I am working on that. I'm hoping to have that for that episode because that would be something interesting. And then obviously in a few weeks, we have the MLB The Show early access opening night stream, and I cannot wait for that. So let's get into this week's episode. Baseball is finally back. The lockout finally ended. No more lockout. It's all back. We're having a season, a full season, 162 games. Baseball's back, and I'm happy to finally say that it is back. It's great to be saying that it's back. And just a relief after how long it took to end these negotiations. It's back and ready to play. Spring training games are literally going to start Thursday. I'm not going to cover spring training games because it's spring training, but I will cover if any moves happen between now and before the opening day. But yeah. Also with baseball, I do want to say I'm going to try to have guests for certain episodes with certain series that the Cubs play this year. So like, for example, with like Cubs Yankees, Cubs Mets, like Cubs Pirates maybe. Like, I want to try to have some guests to help preview series. It's not going to be every series, but I want to try to at least get some where I know of guests I can find and try to have them on. So we'll see what happens. But baseball, since the lockout has ended, had a flurry of moves from pretty much the moment the lockout ended till now. So let's go over everything that's happened. The Cubs signed Andrelton Simmons to a 1-year deal for $4 million. Solid addition. I mean, he's not really much of a bat, but he gives you great defense at shortstop. Solid addition for the Cubs. The White Sox signed Carlos Rodon to a 2-year, $44 million deal with an opt-out after 2022. I honestly like this move. He was a great starter, had a breakout year, an all-star last year. I think this is a great move for San Francisco, especially after losing Kevin Gausman to free agency to Toronto. Great move by San Francisco. Clayton Kershaw is staying with the Dodgers on a 1-year, $17 million deal. This was an interesting move. We'll see what happens. One of the big trades that happened, and this came out of nowhere. The Twins traded Mitch Garver to Texas for Isaiah Kiner-Falefa and Ronnie Henriquez. This was an interesting trade, but this is not where Kiner-Falefa will be playing in 2022. Furthermore on that coming up in these news that have come out since lockout has ended. Yusei Kikuchi signed a 3-year, $36 million deal with Toronto Blue Jays. Interesting move by Toronto. I mean, he's been a bit of a mixed bag, but I think it was an interesting deal. Alex Colome is going to the Rockies on a 1-year deal. Did not have a great year last year, but maybe he bounces back. The Mets traded for Chris Bassett from the Oakland A's for JT Ginn and Adam Aller. I think it's a great addition for the Mets, especially as a 3-starter between DeGrom and Scherzer, and then whoever their 4 and 5 combination is. Great addition for the Mets. They did give up 2 good prospects, great prospects, but a great addition. They also signed Adam Ottavino for 1 year, $4 million. Didn't have a great year last year, but has had good years in New York in the past, and he could have success. We'll see what happens. Sonny Gray got traded from the Cincinnati Reds to Minnesota Twins along with Chase Petty, for prospect Francis Peguero. Jairus Familia going to the Phillies on a 1-year, $6 million deal. He was not great for the Mets last year. We'll see what happens. Maybe he bounces back, but we'll see. Excuse me. Nelson Cruz is going to the Nationals on a 1-year, $15 million deal. It's crazy he's still in this game. He's he's getting up there in age, but I mean, hey, if he could continue to still be good for him. Keep going. But he's just like 40, 41 or something like that. The big trade that happened recently, the Yankees traded Gary Sanchez and Giovanni Urshela to the Twins for Isaiah Kiner-Falefa, Josh Donaldson, and Ben Rortvedt. It seems like the Twins are basically just like tanking, sadly, even after they got Sonny Gray. They're getting like Gary Sanchez, who's been inconsistent, and Gio Urshela, who's got good, solid defense and at bat. But I think this is a good plus for the Yankees. Yeah, you're losing Gary and Gio, but you're getting Donaldson, who, yes, has dealt with some injuries and is not his MVP self, but still a solid bat, a pretty good defender still at third base. You're getting a utility player defensively in Isaiah Kiner-Falefa, not much of a hitter, but can play a lot of positions defensively. And then you're getting another catcher option, Ben Rortvedt. So we'll see what happens. But I think this was actually a pretty good trade. Oakland A's traded Matt Olson to Atlanta for Christian Pache, Shea Langeliers, Joey Estes, and Ryan Cusick. Great trade for Atlanta. Sadly means the end of Freddie Freeman. He has not officially signed anywhere yet. But this is a great replacement. And he actually, today, this trade happened yesterday. Today, he signed a 8-year, $168 million extension with Atlanta. So he's going to be staying there for a while. This was another giant trade. The Reds traded Jesse Winker and Eugenio Suarez to Seattle for Justin Dunn, Jake Fraley, Brandon Williamson, and a player to be named later. Great additions for Seattle, though their outfield's going to be a question mark because of how many outfielders they have between the majors and the minors. But great additions. I mean, not the best defensively necessarily, but they're very good bats. Suarez will probably be the replacement for Kyle Seager as he retired. First, Cincinnati, I mean, you got a solid bat in Jake Fraley. Dunn's not been so great. Maybe he could change, and then a prospect, and we don't know the fourth player yet. So we'll see what happens there. Andrew McCutchen signed a 1-year deal for $8.5 million with Milwaukee, and that's pretty much been the baseball news since the lockout has ended. But we've had some big deals, we've had some small deals. Still waiting on Correa, still waiting on Freeman, still waiting on Story. So there's definitely moves we're still waiting to happen. But that's the update of the current moment with baseball. Baseball is back. That's all that matters right now at the current moment, which is just happy to have baseball back. NFL news this week has been crazy with news. Tom Brady's back. His retirement actually lasted shorter than the MLB lockout. Via his Twitter account, he's like, yeah, I'm coming back for a 23rd season, which I'm not surprised that he's unretiring. It's more of how quickly he unretired. Just like snap of a finger, I'm retired. Snap of a finger, I'm back. And it's just like kind of crazy how quickly. One of the biggest moves this weekend that just made my mouth drop to the floor. And not just who they got, but what they had to give up in a good way for the team that got the player. The Cleveland Browns got Amari Cooper from the Dallas Cowboys along with a 6th round pick for 2022 for their 2022 5th round and 2022 6th round. And what surprised me most about this is the fact the Browns didn't even have to give up a 1st or 2nd or 3rd round pick, just a 5th, and swapped 6, which was just like, what the heck? Now, sadly, that means the end for Jarvis Landry. They also had to cut J.C. Treader, but it did save a lot of caps. We'll see what happens. And they're in talks with Deshaun Watson currently as we speak. We'll see what happens there. But this is a huge addition for their wide receiver core. And we'll see where it takes us from here on. Other moves that have happened since we've last talked. J.D. McKissick signed a 2-year, $7 million deal with Buffalo. Isaiah McKenzie is staying in Buffalo for 2 years on $8 million. Teddy Bridgewater signing with Miami Dolphins on a 1-year, $6.5 million fully guaranteed deal that could be worth up to $10 million in incentives. Chase Edmonds also going to Miami on a 2-year, $12.6 million contract that includes $6.1 million guaranteed. Cedric Wilson signing a 3-year, $22.8 million deal with Miami that includes $12.75 million fully guaranteed. Mike Gesicki getting franchise tagged. Connor Williams by Miami, by the way. Connor Williams signing with the Dolphins on a 2-year, $14 million deal that includes $7.5 million fully guaranteed. Emmanuel Ogbah, the former Cleveland Brown, re-signing with Miami on a 4-year, $65.4 million deal that will pay him $32.7 million over the first 2 years. New England re-signed James White on a 2-year, $5 million deal that includes $500,000 guaranteed. The Browns and Patriots made a trade. Mack Wilson going from the Browns to the Patriots for Chase Winovich. This was an interesting trade. Mack Wilson's been very inconsistent, and Chase Winovich has had some good moments, so I think this could be a good trade for the Browns. And again, trading with the Patriots is never the greatest thing in the world, but we'll see what happens. But it also reunites Chase Winovich with former college teammate Donovan Peoples-Jones. So we'll see what happens. Devin McCourty staying with the Patriots on a 1-year, $9 million contract. Nick Folk got re-signed by the Patriots on a 2-year, $5 million extension. That includes a $2.19 million guaranteed and has a max value of $5.6 million in incentives. Matthew Slater is staying with the Patriots on a 1-year, $2.6 million deal that is fully guaranteed. Tevin Coleman re-signing with the Jets on a 1-year, $1.5 million deal. $650,000 is guaranteed. That has a max value of $2.3 million. Braxton Berrios re-signing with the Jets on a 2-year, $12 million contract. C.J. Uzomah going to the Jets from the Bengals on a 3-year, $24 million deal. DJ Reed signing a 3-year, $33 million deal. Marcus Joyner re-signing with the Jets on a 1-year deal. Marcus Williams staying with the Baltimore Ravens on a 5-year, $70 million deal that includes $37 million guaranteed. BJ Hill re-signing with the Bengals on a 3-year, $30 million deal that includes $15 million in year 1. Jesse Bates got their franchise tag. The Browns franchise tagged David Njoku, and they re-signed Taven Bryant on a 1-year, whatever. So on a 1-year, $5 million deal. The Steelers re-signed. Dwayne Haskins received original round restricted free agent tender worth $2.54 million from the Steelers. The Steelers also signed Mitch Trubisky on a 2-year, $14.25 million deal. That's worth up to $27 million with incentives. Interesting signing. Not sure if he'll have success there or not. We'll see. Let's see. I'm just going through more of the bigger deals. I'm not gonna go through all of them. Mo Alley Cox re-signing with the Colts on a 3-year, $18 million deal. Zay Jones signing with the Jaguars on a 3-year, $24 million. Has a max value of $30 million. Christian Kirk signing a 4-year, $72 million contract that includes $37 million fully guaranteed and has a max value of $84 million. Evan Ingram signing with the Jaguars on a 1-year deal. Cam Robinson got the franchise tag. Brandon Scherf signing a 3-year, $49.5 million deal that includes $30 million fully guaranteed and $33 million in the first 2 years. Harold Landry re-signing with the Titans on a 5-year, $87.5 million extension with $52.5 million guaranteed. Morgan Cox agreeing on a 1-year extension with Tennessee. Russell Wilson, this was a big trade, getting traded to Denver Broncos, along with a 4th-round pick, 2 first-round picks, 2 second-rounders, a 5th-rounder, Drew Lock, Noah Fant, and Shelby Harris. The trade does not, basically doesn't. A lot of these don't come official till tomorrow because that's when the free agency officially begins. But at this point, almost any of this is pretty much settled. Randy Gregory was potentially going to re-sign with Dallas, but instead took a 5-year, $70 million deal that included $28 million guaranteed with Denver. Josie Jewell resigning on a 2-year deal. Orlando Brown got the Chiefs franchise tag, and Frank Clark signed a new 2-year, $29 million deal that has a max value of $36 million with incentives. Justin Reed signing a 3-year, $31.5 million deal that includes $20 million guaranteed. Max Crosby signed a 4-year, $98.98 million contract extension with $98.5 million in new money and $53 million guaranteed. Mike Williams re-signed with the Chargers on a 3-year, $60 million deal that includes $40 million fully guaranteed over the first 2 years. Khalil Mack got traded to the Chargers for a 2022 second-round pick and a 6th-rounder in 2023. That was a huge trade. J.C. Jackson signed with the Chargers on a 5-year, $82.5 million deal with $40 million guaranteed. Michael Gallup re-signing with the Dallas Cowboys with the money they saved from trading Amari Cooper on a 5-year, $57.5 million deal that includes $23 million fully guaranteed and has a max value of $62.5 million. And also includes a $10 million sign bonus. Dalton Schultz got the franchise tag. DeMarcus Lawrence agreed to a new 3-year, $40 million contract with $30 million guaranteed. Malik Hooker re-signing with the Cowboys on a 2-year deal worth $8 million. Jason Kelce signing a new 1-year contract with $14 million with the Eagles. They also signed Hassan Reddick on a 3-year, $45 million deal that includes $30 million fully guaranteed and has a max value of $49.5 million. The Commanders acquired Carson Wentz from the Colts for a 2022 3rd-rounder and a 2023 3rd-rounder, which can convert to a 2nd-rounder based on Wentz snap totals. And also swaps 2022 2nd-round picks. The Bears got Larry Ogunjobi on a 3-year, $40.5 million deal. DJ Chark signed a 1-year, $10 million deal with the Lions. Packers are getting Rodgers back, which was a big surprise. A lot of people thought he was going to go elsewhere, but he is staying. 3 years, $150.815 million over the next 3 years with $101.515 million fully guaranteed. And now his cap hit is, Devontae Adams received the franchise tag, but he did say he will not play on the franchise tag. So we'll see what happens with that, whether they end up giving him a contract or not, which will be interesting to see. Alan Lazard receiving a 2nd-round restricted free agent tender worth $3.986 million from the Packers. Devondre Campbell re-signing a 5-year deal worth $50 million. Preston Smith signing a 4-year extension worth $52.5 million of new money. Smith gets more than $65 million over 5 years with a chance to make $71 million. Though Zadarius Smith, his brother, did get cut by the Packers. Kirk Cousins signing a 1-year, $35 million deal, fully guaranteed extension that puts him under contract through 2023 and reduces 2022 cap number by almost $14 million with the Vikings. The Falcons extended Jake Matthews on a 3-year, $52.5 million deal over the first 3 years and reduces his cap. Young Hoku re-signed to a 5-year, $24.25 million contract extension that includes $11.5 million guaranteed. Austin Corbett expected to sign a 3-year deal worth $29.25 million with the Panthers. Zane Gonzalez agreed to a 2-year, $4.5 million deal with the Panthers. Xavier Woods signing a 3-year, $15.75 million deal with the Panthers. Tom Brady, he's basically coming out of retirement. He will be with Tampa. Chris Godwin got franchise tagged. Ryan Jensen re-signed to a 3-year, $39 million deal. That includes $23 million guaranteed. Carlton Davis re-signing on a 3-year, $45 million deal. That includes $30 million guaranteed. The James Conner agreeing to stay with the Cardinals on a 3-year, $21 million extension that includes $16 million over the first 2 years. Zach Ertz re-signing on a 3-year, $31.65 million deal with the Cardinals that includes $17.5 million guaranteed. Oof. Almost done with these. Charvarius Ward agreeing on a 3-year, $40.5 million deal with the 49ers. Obviously, the Drew Lock trade for the Seahawks. No, and Will Dissly is re-signing on a 3-year, $24 million deal. And Quandre Diggs agreed to a 3-year, $40 million deal with the Seahawks. That seems to be pretty much the latest on NFL moves as of right now. Yeah. But so far, a lot has gone down, and we'll see what happens from here on out. But already been an interesting offseason. It's like anytime MLB's had some big news, it gets countered by NFL having some news. So we'll see what happens. The March Madness bracket for 2022 has officially come out. It came out on Sunday. I watched the reveal. I'm going to go through the bracket, including the first 4 matchups. And then I'm going to give predictions at the end. I want to say before I start this, going through the bracket, my plan for predictions is that I'm going to predict the rounds that are the most upcoming, as in the next round upcoming to each episode. So I'm only doing round 1 this episode. I will say who I have a general winner for my bracket, but I'm going to be doing round 1 this episode. Next week will probably be round 3 or something, and so on and so forth. So it's just going to be the most upcoming round because it's just going to be easier for me to do. I don't want to try to project and then it could be a completely different matchup. I will say though, my overall winner I have is Gonzaga for this year, but I am still going to give general, just round by round predictions for the podcast. Maybe in future years I could give a full bracket prediction, but for now that's just what I plan to do, just to give you guys a heads up. But March Madness starts literally tonight because the first 4 games are tonight. So the first 4 consists of battle for the 16th seed to face Kansas, who is in the Midwest region. Matchup is between Texas Southern and Texas A&M. In the East region, that's tonight. Also tonight for the East region, we're going to face St. Mary's as a 12th seed facing, I think it's 5 seed St. Mary's between Wyoming and Indiana. Tomorrow, Wright State versus Bryant. Winner faces Arizona as a 16th seed in the South region. And for the West region, 11th seed as the 11th seed face Bama, who's a 6th seed. Rutgers versus Notre Dame. The bracket for the first round, in the actual first round, aside from the first 4 games, is going to be Gonzaga. So for the West region, which is going to be in a mix of stadiums, when I start doing predictions, I'll mention where these games are going to be played. Gonzaga is the 1 seed facing Georgia State. Boise State, as Georgia State being the 16th seed. 8 seed Boise State facing 9 seed Memphis. 5 seed UConn facing 12th seed New Mexico State. 4 seed Arkansas facing 13th seed Vermont. 6th seed Alabama facing whoever wins the Rutgers Notre Dame game. As the 11th seed, 3 seed Texas Tech facing Montana State, 14th seed. 7th seed Michigan State facing 10th seed Davidson, and 2 seed Duke facing the 15th seed Cal State Fullerton. That's the West region. For the East region, Baylor is the 1 seed facing 16th seed Norfolk State. 8th seed North Carolina facing 9th seed Marquette. 5th seed St. Mary's facing the winner 12th seed either Wyoming or Indiana. UCLA is the 4th seed facing 13th seed Akron. 6th seed Texas facing 11th seed Virginia Tech. 3rd seed Purdue facing 14th seed Yale. 7th seed Murray State facing 10th seed San Francisco, is in the bracket for the first time in a long time. 2 seed Kentucky facing the 15th seed St. Peter's. That is the East region. The South region. Number 1 seed Arizona will be facing the winner of the Bryant Wright State game, first 4 game. Will be the 16th seed facing Arizona. Seton Hall as the 8th seed will be facing 9 seed TCU. 5 seed Houston facing 12th seed UAB. 4th seed Illinois facing the 13th seed Chattanooga. 6th seed Colorado State versus 11th seed Michigan. 3rd seed Tennessee versus 14th seed Longwood. The most intriguing matchup to me in the first round, and I do plan to watch it, and it will be watchable even for Jews. 7th seed Ohio State versus the 10th seed Loyola Chicago. This was a tough one for me to make a prediction, but I just made gut feeling prediction at the end of the day. And then 2 seed Villanova facing 15th seed Delaware. That is the South region. And the last but not least region, the Midwest region, which actually the bigger games towards the end of its bracket will actually be in Chicago in the United Center. So in this part of the bracket, 1 seed Kansas will either be facing 16th seed either Texas Southern or Texas A&M Corpus Christi. 8th seed San Diego State versus 9th seed Creighton. 5th seed Iowa versus 12th seed Richmond. 4th seed Providence against 13th seed South Dakota State. 6th seed LSU versus 11th seed Iowa State. 3rd seed Wisconsin versus 14th seed Colgate. 7th seed USC versus 10th seed Miami of Florida. And then the 2nd seed Auburn versus 15th seed Jacksonville State. That is the bracket. You can let me know your predictions, whether you agree with the predictions I'm about to say for the first round or in general. My general winner, once again, is Gonzaga. But I'm going to go through my first 4 and first round predictions for the podcast for today, and then most upcoming round and futures episodes. So let's get into my predictions for this week's episode, and I will tally what I get right and wrong. So first for tonight, the first game we have tonight is between Texas Southern and Texas A&M Corpus Christi at 6:40 p.m. Both games being on True TV and both being in Dayton, Ohio at the University of Dayton Arena. Winner will be facing Kansas. I have Texas Southern winning this game. And then later at that night at 9:10 p.m., Wyoming will be facing Indiana. Winner faces St. Mary's. I have Indiana. Then tomorrow, Wright State versus Bryant at 6:40 p.m. Winner faces Arizona. I have Bryant. And then the last game for the first 4 between Rutgers and Notre Dame at 9:10 p.m. Winner facing Alabama. I have Notre Dame. First round predictions. These are going to be the mix of arenas, and I will be saying what arenas these games are in, along with the times and the TV networks you can find these games on. So, Thursday, first game at 12:15 p.m. on CBS. You have 6th seed Colorado versus 11th seed Michigan. This game will be at the Gainbridge Fieldhouse in Indianapolis, Indiana. It's basically where the Pacers play. My prediction is Colorado State will win this game. Next game at 12:40 p.m. on True TV between 4th seed Providence, and 13th seed South Dakota State. That will be in the KeyBank Center in Buffalo, New York. The Sabres play there, just to give context for who plays there. I have South Dakota State winning that game. Got to have some upset predictions, so that's one of mine. Next up, at 1:45 p.m. on Thursday on TNT, 8th seed Boise State facing 9th seed Memphis at the Moda Center in Portland, Oregon, which I've actually been to that stadium. Very nice. I have Memphis winning that game. At 2 p.m. on TBS, you have number 1 Baylor versus 16th seed Norfolk State. This will be in Dickies Arena in Fort Worth, Texas. It's basically TCU arena for basketball. I have Baylor winning that game. At 2:45 p.m. on CBS, you have number 3 seed Tennessee versus 14th seed Longwood. That will be at the Gainbridge Fieldhouse. I have Tennessee winning that game. 5 seed Iowa versus 12 seed Richmond at 3:10 p.m. on True TV. At the KeyBank Center, I have Iowa winning that game. Gonzaga 1 seed versus Georgia State, 4:15 on TNT. At the Moda Center, as I said, I have Gonzaga. 8th seed North Carolina versus 9th seed Marquette, 4:30 p.m. on TBS. That will be from the Dickies Arena. I have Marquette winning that game. 5th seed UConn versus 12th seed New Mexico State at 6:50 p.m. on TNT from KeyBank Center in Buffalo. I have UConn. I have to check something for a second. Give me 1 second here. Kentucky. Sorry about that. I have a mistake here. From the Gainbridge Fieldhouse in Indianapolis, Indiana, will be Kentucky, 2-seed Kentucky versus 15-seed St. Peter's at 7:10 p.m. on CBS. I have Kentucky. 5th seed St. Mary's versus what I predict will be 12th seed Indiana, 7:20 on TBS. From I don't know why I didn't change that. I think that's also from Indiana, but either way, I have St. Mary's winning that game. 8th seed San Diego State facing 9th seed Creighton, 7:27 p.m. on True TV. From Dickies Arena, I have San Diego State. 4th seed Arkansas facing 13th seed Vermont, 9:20 p.m. on TNT. From KeyBank Center, I have Arkansas. 7th seed Murray State versus 10th seed San Francisco, 9:40 p.m. on CBS. From once again, I forgot to change that, but somewhere in the East Coast, somewhere in one of the stadiums, I have Murray State. 4th seed UCLA versus 13th seed Akron, 9:50 on TBS. I have UCLA. And the last game at 9:57 p.m. on True TV, you have the 1 seed Kansas versus 16th seed Texas Southern from Dickies Arena. I have Kansas. That is the games on Thursday. On Friday, kicks off at 12:15 on CBS with Ohio State versus Loyola Chicago. This game will be at PPG Paints Arena in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. This was a tough game to break, but I do have Ohio State. But honestly, I'd be down for either or to win that game. At 12:40 p.m. on True TV, you'll have the 2-seed Auburn facing 15th seed Jackson State from Bon Secours Wellness Arena in Greenville, South Carolina. Some odd college in South Carolina. I forgot which college it was. But I have Auburn winning that game. In conclusion, next up at 1:45 p.m. on TNT, you have 3rd seed Texas Tech against 14th seed Montana State. Give me 1 second here. Oh yeah, heads up for audio. I'm gonna have to download this and put this on from YouTube and put this on audio because this is not gonna fully fit on. This won't be fully done through on audio, so I'm gonna have to download it from YouTube. Anyways, getting back, Texas Tech 3rd seed facing 14th seed Montana State at 1:45 p.m. on Friday on TNT from Villajas Arena in San Diego, California. San Diego State plays there in general. I have Texas Tech winning that game. 3rd seed Purdue versus 14th seed Yale, 2 p.m. on TBS from Fiserv Forum in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. I have been to that arena as well. Very nice arena. I have Purdue winning that one. The 2nd seed Villanova against 15th seed Delaware, 2:45 p.m. on CBS from PPG Paints Arena in Pittsburgh. I have Villanova winning that game. 7th seed USC versus 10th seed Miami. That will be at 3:10 p.m. on True TV. From Bon Secours Wellness Arena in San Diego, I have Miami winning that game. 6th seed Alabama versus I predict the 11th seed to be Notre Dame, 4:15 p.m. on TNT from Villajas Arena. I have Bama. Oh, wait, Bon Secours is Greenville, South Carolina. Villajas is San Diego. Either way, I have Bama. 6th seed Texas versus 11th seed Virginia Tech, 4:30 p.m. on TBS from Fiserv Forum. I have Texas. 4th seed Illinois versus 13th seed Chattanooga, 6:50 p.m. on TNT from PPG Paints Arena. I have Illinois. 2 seed Duke versus 15th seed Cal State Fullerton, 7:10 p.m. on CBS from Bon Secours Wellness Arena. I have Duke. 6 LSU versus 11 Iowa State, 7:20 p.m. on TBS from Fiserv Forum. I have LSU. 1 seed Arizona versus I predict to be 16th seed Bryant, 7:27 on p.m. on True TV from Villajas Arena. I have Arizona winning that game. 5 seed Houston facing 12 seed UAB, 9:20 p.m. on TNT from PPG Arena. I have Houston. 7th seed Michigan State versus 10th seed Davidson, 9:40 p.m. on CBS from Bon Secours Wellness Arena. I have Michigan State. With 4th seed Wisconsin facing 14th seed Colgate. The numbers might be off there. Yeah, 13th seed, not 14th seed Colgate. 13th seed Colgate, 9:50 p.m. on TBS. That will be from the 5-star Verona Forum. I have Wisconsin. They also will have home court advantage because it's the same state as where they play. Not the same city, but we'll probably have a lot of Wisconsin fans at that game since it's within the same state. It's like an hour or so away, but I have Wisconsin in that game. And the last game of the first round between 18 Hall and 9 TCU, 9:57 p.m. on True TV from VHS Arena, I have TCU. And that's my first round predictions. Next week I will give, I think, what will probably be the third round predictions. I will obviously recap what happens in the first 2 rounds and the first 4 of this score from the games. And if I could give a brief summary, I'll give a brief summary as well. But that is my first round predictions. Let me know your predictions on the live chat or in the comments down below. I'm open to whatever predictions you've got or what you think of mine. Let me know. Last topic on here. NBA. Been some craziness this week and some, normal-ish this week. One thing I will say, last night in these in the respective games, Golden State, hold on, let me just pull up. Golden State beat Washington 126-112. The Minnesota Timberwolves beat the San Antonio Spurs 149-139. And the Atlanta Hawks, you'll see why I'm specifying these games first. Last night, beat Trailblazers 122-113. Why I stress those games is because Steph Curry, Karl-Anthony Towns, and Trae Young, Steph Curry for the Warriors, Karl-Anthony Towns, or KAT for short, from the Timberwolves, and Trae Young from the Atlanta Hawks are the first 3 players to score 45-plus points in the same night ever in NBA history, which is absolutely crazy. I found this out through the NBA, and I also found the tweet on Twitter just to have it open so I don't forget it. But anyways, I just wanted to put that out before I go into the games. But Brooklyn in this time segment went 3-0, beating Charlotte on Tuesday 132-121, beating Philly on Thursday 129-100, and beating New York on Sunday 110-107. Charlotte in this time frame went 2-2, losing to Brooklyn. By the way, with Brooklyn, it was at Charlotte, at Philly, and at home versus Knicks. Charlotte losing at home to Brooklyn 132-121, losing at home against Celtics on Wednesday 115-101, winning on Friday at New Orleans 142-120, and winning yesterday at OKC 134-116. Cleveland this week went 2-2, winning at Indiana on Tuesday 127-124, losing at Miami on Friday 117-105, losing at Chicago on Saturday 101-91, and then winning last night at the Clippers 120-111 in overtime. The Pacers went 1-2 in this time frame, losing at home against the Cavaliers 127-124 on Tuesday, losing at San Antonio on Saturday, winning at San Antonio on Saturday, 119-108, and then losing at Atlanta on Sunday 131-128. The Magic this time frame went 2-2, losing at home against Phoenix 102-99, winning at New Orleans on Wednesday 108-102, winning at home against Minnesota 118-110, losing at home against Philly, 116-114 in overtime on Sunday. Milwaukee went 3-1 in this time frame, winning on Tuesday at OKC 142-115, winning at home against Atlanta 124-115, losing at Golden State 122-109, and on a crazy game that was back and forth, winning at Utah last night 117-111. Boston in this time frame went 2-1, winning at Charlotte on Wednesday 115-101. I'm not sure what date that was supposed to be, but it beat Detroit in this time frame 114-103, and then losing on Sunday to Dallas 95-92. The Bulls this week went 2-1, ending their losing streak on Wednesday against Detroit 114-108. 28 of DeMar DeRozan's 36 points were in the second half, and capitalizing on 16 Detroit turnovers to lead to 23 of their own points, beating the Cavs on Saturday at home 101-91, and then losing last night at Sacramento 112-103, which the loss stings because Sacramento's not so good in the standings right now in the West. Detroit this week went 0-3 in this time frame, went 0-3, losing at home against the Bulls 114-108, losing at Boston on Friday 114-103, and losing at home versus the Clippers 106-102. Miami in this time frame went 1-2, losing at home against Phoenix 111-190, winning at home against Cavs on Friday 117-105, and losing at home against Minnesota 113-104. Atlanta Hawks this week went 3 in this time frame, went 3-1, losing on Wednesday at Milwaukee 124-115, winning at home against the Clippers 112-106, winning at home against Indiana 131-128, and winning at home against Portland 122-113. Whew, sorry, I just need a moment. A lot to go over. Knicks went 1-2 in this time frame, winning at Dallas 107-77 on Wednesday, losing at Memphis on Friday 118-114, and then losing at Brooklyn 110-107 on Sunday, which Kyrie actually showed up to the game, not following mandates, especially since he's unvaccinated, and the Nets got fined like $50,000 for that. Toronto Raptors on this time frame went undefeated 4-0, winning at San Antonio 119-104, winning at Phoenix 117-112, winning at Denver 127-115, and last night whooping the Lakers because the score does not tell you the full story, 114-103. They had the game from beginning to end. Washington went 0-4 in this time frame, losing on Wednesday at the Clippers 115-109 on Wednesday. Friday lost at the Lakers 122-109. Lost at Portland on Saturday, 127-118, and lost at Golden State last night, 126-112. And the last team in the East, Philly, went 1-2 in this time frame, losing at home against Brooklyn on Thursday, 129-100, winning at Orlando on Sunday, 116-114 in overtime, and then losing at home against Denver, 114-110. That is for the East. Now to the West. Phoenix in this time frame went 3-1, winning at Orlando 102-99, winning at Miami on Tuesday, winning at Miami on Wednesday 111-90, which actually clinched them a playoff spot with that win. First team to clinch a playoff spot between the two conferences. So good for Phoenix. Friday, they lost at home against Toronto 117-112, and then on Sunday beat LA at home 140-111. New Orleans went 1-3 in this timeline, losing at Memphis 132-111 on Tuesday, losing at home against Orlando on Wednesday 108-102, losing on Friday at home against Charlotte 142-120, and winning Sunday at home against Houston 130-105. Memphis in this time frame went 3-0, winning at home against New Orleans 132-111. Winning Friday at home against the Knicks 118-114, and winning at OKC on Sunday 125-118. The Thunder went 0-4 in this time frame, losing at home against Milwaukee 142-115, losing at Minnesota 132-102 on Wednesday, and then losing at home against Memphis 125-118, and last night losing at home against Charlotte 134-116. The Clippers in this time frame went 2-3, losing on Tuesday at Golden State 112-97, winning at home against the Wizards 115-109, losing at Atlanta 112-106, winning at Detroit 106-102 on Sunday, and losing at the Cavs yesterday 120-111 in overtime. The Lakers went 1-3 in this time frame, losing at Houston 139-130 in overtime, winning at home against Washington 122-109, losing at Phoenix 140-111 on Sunday, and then yesterday losing 114-103 to the Raptors at home. The Rockets of this time frame went 1-2, winning on Wednesday at home against Lakers 139-130 in overtime, losing on Friday at home against Dallas 113-100, and losing at New Orleans 130-105 on Sunday. Minnesota went 3-1 in this time frame, winning at home against OKC 132-102, losing at Orlando on Friday 118-110, winning at Miami 113-104, and winning last night at San Antonio 149-139, where that's where the Cat had that big game, 60 points. And he had 56 already going into the third. Dallas went 2-1 in this time frame, losing on Wednesday at home against the Knicks 107-77, winning at Houston 113-100 on Friday, and winning at Boston on Sunday 195-92. San Antonio 1-3 in this timeline, losing Wednesday at home against Toronto 119-104, winning on Friday at home against Utah 104-102, losing on Saturday at home against Indiana 119-108, and losing yesterday at home against Minnesota 149-139. The Portland Trailblazers went 1-2 in this time frame, losing at Utah on Wednesday 123-85, winning on Saturday at home against Washington 127-118, and yesterday losing at Atlanta 122-113. That's where Trae Young had that big game. Utah went 3-1 in this time period, winning on Wednesday versus the Trailblazers 123-85, winning on Friday at San Antonio 104-102, winning at home against Sacramento 134-125, and losing last night to the Milwaukee Bucks 117-111 in that crazy game. Denver went 3-1 this time frame, winning at Sacramento on Wednesday 106-100, winning at home against Golden State on Thursday 113-102, losing at home against Toronto on Saturday 127-115, and last night being Philly at home at Philly 114-110. The Kings went 1-2 in this time frame, losing to the Denver Nuggets 106-100 on Wednesday, losing to the Jazz 134-125 on Saturday, and then beating the Bulls last night at home 112-103. And last but not least, for the last recap. I don't know why I said recap. Went 3-1. The Golden State went 3-1, winning on Tuesday at home against Clippers 112-97, losing at Denver on Thursday 113-102, winning at home against Milwaukee 122-109, and last night winning at home against Washington 126-112. And that is a weekly games recap. So now for the standings update. Miami is your 1 seed right now with 45-24 record with a 1-game losing streak. Milwaukee is your 2 seed, 43-26 with a 1-game win streak. Philly is your 3 seed with a 41-26 record and 1-game losing streak. The Bulls are your 4 seed still, 41-27 with a 1-game losing streak. Boston is the 5 seed with a 41-28 record and the 5th seed with a 1-game losing streak. Cavs on a 1-game win streak, the 6th seed on a 39-29 record. The Raptors, the 7th seed on a 4-game win streak with 38-30 record. The Nets on a 3-game win streak and 35-33 record. The Atlanta Hawks on 34-34 record, currently as the 9th seed on a 3-game winning streak. And then the last team in the playoffs, which is still part of the playing game, would be Charlotte, 34-35 on a 2-game win streak as the 10th seed. Below that, they're still not eliminated as 2 teams were eliminated from the East. Nobody's been eliminated from the West yet, which is odd because the West is where a lot of teams are under 500, and the East is where everyone's been, that playoff team is like legitimate, or at least somewhat legitimate. But 11th seed Washington with a 29-38 record on a 4-game losing streak. 12th seed being the Knicks with a 28-40 record and a 2-game losing streak, and 13th seed being Indiana with 23-46 record on a 1-game losing streak. Eliminated officially is Detroit with an 18-50 record on a 3-game losing streak, and Orlando with an 18-51 record on a 1-game losing streak. That is for the East. For the West, you have the Suns in first place with their playoff spot clinched on a 1-game winning streak with a 54-14 record. Memphis is the 2 seed with a 47-22 record and a 3-game winning streak. The Golden State Warriors, who are 47-22, is the 3 seed with a 4-game winning streak. The Utah Jazz, who are 42-26 with a 1-game losing streak. The Dallas Mavericks, who are 42-26 on a 2-game winning streak. The Denver Nuggets, who are 41-28 on a 1-game winning streak. As a 6 seed, Dallas is the 5 seed. Utah 4 seed. Minnesota is the 7th seed with a 40-30 record on a 2-game win streak. The Clippers are 36-35 as the 8th seed on a one-game losing streak. The Lakers are still in the play-in game with a 29-39 record on a two-game losing streak as the 9th seed. And the last seed, technically still in the playoffs, is New Orleans Pelicans, 28-40 on a one-game win streak. 11th seed being Portland on a 26-41 record on a one-game losing streak. The 12th seed is the Spurs, 26-43 on a two-game losing streak. 13th seed is the Kings with a 25-45 record on a one-game win streak. 14th seed is the Oklahoma City Thunder on a 20-48 record on a six-game losing streak. And the 15th seed in the West is Houston Rockets with a 17-51 record on a two-game losing streak. And that is the standings updates. And then the games tonight in the NBA, Memphis and Indiana tonight at 7. Brooklyn at Orlando tonight at 7. Detroit at Miami tonight at 7:30. And Phoenix at New Orleans at 8. And that is the NBA schedule for this weekend. And that for tonight. And that is this week's episode of the podcast. A long episode this week, but with a lot of relevant information, especially for certain things coming up in the future. What a crazy episode this could be. It was. Next week could be crazier anyways, because we still got a lot of baseball moves to happen, a lot of football moves to happen, and March Madness obviously starting, so who knows what else could happen. Before I wrap up, I want to see if there's any crucial news to report live on the podcast via Twitter. Just give me 1 second. By the way, it was last Thursday that they announced the lockout being over. Oh, yeah, and by the way, Andrew Whitworth retired. Yeah, I'm not seeing anything. So let's just wrap up the episode. I will cover the moves next week. Thank you for coming back for this week's episode of Betty in the Booth podcast. On next week's episode, we will have the first and second round to recap of March Madness, including also in the first four. We'll have NBA to weekly recap. We'll have MLB news to talk about. We'll have NFL news probably to talk about. And who knows what else could pop up between now and then. And by the way, let me know your predictions in the comments section below for March Madness, whether it's by round or completely. And if you have a specific guest that you want me to have on potentially to help me preview the Brewers Cubs opening weekend series, let me know in the comments down below. Subscribe if you are new to the channel. Leave the notification bell on so you're notified when I go live. Thanks for watching. See you in the next episode. Goodbye.